Thank you everybody for joining us again. Apologies for the keep changing times and days and what have you. That's my fault. Welcome to my guests, as always, Jean and Red. Welcome to you guys.
Yeah, hi.
And we're going to have a quick chat today. A quick chat. So I'm going to pass the buck straight to Jean because she's got something good to tell us.
Well, thank you, Andy. It's great to be here with you and Red. Talking about the weather. Hey, I've been doing a lot of soul searching recently, and I realized that the past several years, and I think a lot of people can probably relate to this, the last maybe 5 or so years have been really tough for everyone. A lot of people maybe had some personal challenges, lost family members, any number of things that could make a person sort of go into themselves and maybe be not as mindful about the things around them. You know, like a perfect example would be gardens, house cleaning, things like that. So it made me think about how, you know, even with the company, you know, we're in meetings all the time. There's always a meeting, you know what I mean? So it's easy to neglect things in our personal lives because there's always something better to do than taking care of, you know, cleanup or maintenance and things like that. So I was thinking about it, and I thought, you know, here we are in this pause, and what a perfect time for us to keep busy and look around our lives and see where have I possibly neglected some things in my life, and how could I clean that up or clear that out to make space for the new, what's coming down the pike. Now we have some repairs happening at my house, so the last couple days I've been doing massive amounts of trimming limbs back, clearing you know, say poison ivy out of things, because we have workers that are going to be coming in and working around the porch, so that I need to clear that out so they can get in there. So it's just, this has been top of mind for me, where I'm like, wow, how did I let this stuff go? You know what I mean? And I look back on the last several years and I think, you know, my head was elsewhere. And so this is a perfect time for us, with this time that we've been given as we wait for this next phase, a time for us to look around our lives and say, what could I be doing to clear up, to make space for, to just, you know, clearing the clutter. There's just so many things that we could be doing to make sure that when things start moving ahead, we're clean and clear and ready for a smooth road. And we don't have the detritus of the past and the burden of things we neglected holding us down. We can hit the ground running. So that's all I wanted to say, just to get us started. Thanks so much, Andy.
Great, thanks, Jean. You're right. At the end of the day, we all have kind of baggage, you could say. And over the last 5 years, certainly, like you said, many of us have had ups and downs, and I'm no exception. But I love the fact that it's, for me, it's given me time to not only reflect on what's coming, but also kind of take the time to learn as much as I possibly can. So, you know, listening to Red and listening to his technical knowledge of what has gone before. I've frozen again. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you, Andy.
You can hear me?
Oh, yes, I can hear you. Sorry.
Okay, apologies. I think my internet's messing around today. But it's certainly, for me, it's given me the time to kind of learn a lot more. And by listening to guys like Red and to Marty and to Chris, etc., it's given me ideas as to what I can do when we go back to being live or go live, as to how to encourage others to take a closer look at what opportunity exists. So, you know, it's a time for me. It's been a time for of reflection. Yes, we all want things to move forward, but we want things to move forward in the correct manner. I think last time mistakes had been made in the fact that Ash was telling everybody, probably because he was so excited, exactly what's going on at exactly the time it was going on. And many people kind of twisted that to such an extent that, you know, it caused problems. So now looking at, okay, so we're going to get to stage 10 before we tell you what we've done in stage 1. I think that's a major plan and by far an advantage. What are your thoughts, Red?
My thoughts are, I think it's really important to understand what we're trying to say here. And that is, for me, it's all about clearing, cleaning, and preparing. I think that if you have got the mindset of what you've been told and what we told everybody and our CEO told us is what we're going to is brand new. Okay. And it is going to be brand new. You know, I reiterate once again, the only thing going into the next phase is Ash Mufareh and his name. Everything else is brand spanking new. And for us to be successful, I believe in this next phase, we need to clear that dead wood. As Jean was saying, we need to have a clear out. We need to make sure that our mental preparedness for the next phase is cleared out and we are open to what is going to happen. What do I mean by that is, look, we're not saying forget about what happened. We're not saying that you know, it was a waste of time what happened or anything like that. What we're saying is that part of what Ash said is we have to mentally let go of Onpassive and what we've done to prepare ourselves for what is going forward. This is not only clearing our surroundings, tidying up our surrounding, it's also that surroundings in your head, that mental part of it as well. So really is important that we mentally get ready for what is happening. Do we need to know what is happening? No, we don't. That is immaterial to what we are saying right now. What we're saying is that going back over old things, bringing up things that were said, saying, is this going to happen? Is that going to happen? Is not letting go of the past. This is basically bringing it all back up again and having the mentality of what was there rather than what is coming. What we need to do is mentally prepare ourselves for the new, and that means being open to what we see, to what we're told, to how things are going to be, rather than looking at them in a negative light. Look at them in a very positive light of this is going to be better than it was before. Change is always uncomfortable for everybody. Let's not beat around the bush that people don't like change. They like their comfort zone. They like to be in an environment they know, they're happy with, they understand. You know, that is a person's comfort zone. But change is necessary for all sorts of reasons. I've been going over all sorts of reasons on my live why change is necessary and why we have to do it. And for us to be able to move with that change, we need to clean house. And that is not only us ourselves mentally, but also in preparation for what is coming. Do we need to know the technical side of what is happening? No, we don't. What we need to be is prepared that there is going to be something new, that is going to be something that we need to understand, that is going to be different. And that is what the preparation we're talking about here is, mentally preparing ourselves, letting go of the past, in confidence, by the way, knowing that our CEO is going to do everything within his power to make good any mistakes or monies owed or anything like that from the past as soon as he possibly and is able to do that. But for us to succeed as a collective and individually, we need to move forward, plain and simple. We can't just keep waiting on the past. We need to get going in the future so that we all succeed. And this is where we come into it, by being that, having that mental cleaning of the house and saying, right, what was, what is, what was. I can't change it. Nobody can change what happened. It's something that was out of our control. He did his best to stop it as it was. We haven't lost everything. It's still in process, still with legal, still that process ongoing, but we need to get going in a different direction. And to have that success, we need to implement certain things. Now, I've been going over them in my live. Today, I was talking about marketing and instigating and or learning about how all that's going to fit into your business. I've talked about what corporate needs to do as well to make their business successful. I've talked about all sorts of things that I hope will help you with your new business as we move forward. I do it because I want everyone to be successful. I do it that hopefully you will take a little bit on board and then maybe research it, then know where can I implement these to help me be as successful as possible. But part of that is to let go of the past, to have that clean house and then move forward. Back to you.
Yeah, I like that. Let go of the past. We don't live in the past, we live in the present. And an awful lot of people do live in the past, and that's part of the problem. Anyway, Jean, would you like to add any other comments? We're going to make this a quick one today, so you fire away, darling.
I actually do. As Red was talking, I had, I'll return to my sort of my garden analogy. Imagine that this new concept that Ash has planted in the ground. It is a new plant, never been seen before, and it's just put into the garden. And all around it loom these brambles of every thought that we have ever had about Onpassive, OConnect, everything around it. And it's encroaching and it's keeping the sun and it's keeping the rain. And we don't want that. We need to cut those brambles back, clear the space so that the sun and the rain can come fully down on this new plant so it can flourish. So for me, cutting away or dissolving or whatever kind of word you want to use, erasing, releasing, that's what I want to say, releasing all of those former thoughts and mindsets and everything. It's all good. I hope people understand that by releasing this, it's the only way that we can move to this new space. You can't hold on to this heavy brick of something that came before and move forward. So it is all wonderful and good, but you want to nurture that plant. You want to nurture that that beautiful, we don't even know what kind of fruit it's going to yield. I find that very, very exciting. But anyway, so yes, let's all release the past, move forward, tend our gardens, release any kind of clutter and debris that's in our lives, in our minds, and move forward with a clean head and a clean road. So that's all I wanted to add, Andy. Thank you. And
thanks,
you,
Jean. I think the most important thing, guys, is this is a positive, not a negative, as Red has said, and I will stress and emphasize that this is the most positive thing that can happen. I take comfort, a lot of comfort, in the fact that with all of the rubbish that has gone on in the past, you've got experts in their field wanting to work with this man, wanting to work with our CEO. Something special is coming, and we are part of this, and that's what really excites me. So oh, he's disappeared. I was going to say, does he have any final comments?
Off for a moment, but I am here, don't you worry.
Okay. Any final comments you'd like to make, Red? Because I know we're going to make this a quick one today.
I mean, my final comments are always the same, really, as far as people out there is concerned, is that my goal is to try and get as many of you at that start point as possible. That's what my ultimate goal is to make sure that as many people as possible is with us, ready to go. You know, we don't want people falling off the side or going somewhere else, not being bothered. I've had enough of it. It's not worth hanging on for. All of these analogies is not, for me, the right one to have. So why should you stick with it? Well, for the first and foremost reason is our CEO hasn't given up, so why should we? That is the number one reason why I'm not going to be giving up, is that he hasn't let us down. He hasn't walked away. He hasn't given up on what he's trying to achieve for a business and for us. So why should we do that? The other thing is that I think we owe it to ourselves to see this one through. I think we owe it for the people, you know, for yourself, for I'm sure many people have been in the same boat, that have been told by people who care. I'm only telling you because I care about you. I'm only letting you know because I thought you should know. You know, all these terminologies I'm sure you've all had about why you are in this business. I have lots more, by the way, and far worse, and I'm sure you guys do as well. But people who are concerned for you don't need to be. You need to be concerned for yourself. And what you need to do is to actually prove to people that your decision that you were determined to have to see this through is the right one. And you can only do that if you stay the course. You can't do it if you walk away. Why? Because somebody is going to say, well, you never stuck with it, did you? You know, you never did it. You walked away, and then you might have come back afterwards, but you never stayed there all the time. And the only way to hold your head high and to be able to turn around to people and say, I told you, I knew this was what it should be. I told you a long time ago, but you didn't listen. The only way to do that is to stay the course. That's it for me, Andy.
Thanks, Red. Yeah. The classic quote is, who do you listen to? Who do you listen to? You listen to those that are experts in their field, and this man is an expert in his field. And like many of us, we've heard this man speak. His track record runs alongside it, and I would follow him. He knows what he's talking about. He's going to provide us. But again, what you've got to bear in mind is that 99.99% of people would have given up. We know or understand what's gone on in the past, and how this man has walked through this and carried on is beyond me. And that to me makes a hell of a difference. Any final comment you'd like to make, Jean?
No, I think you said it all. This is perfect place to end. Thanks, Andy.
All right, great.
Thank you, Red.
Thanks, guys, for joining us. Again, we will be back next week, probably Thursday, because I'm away for a couple of days. But yes. Anyway, thank you. Okay. All right, I'll see you guys later. Anyway, thank you for joining us.